So, I skipped the first 6 minutes of her video. If you wish to subject yourself to the globally gloop of whatever stream of consciousness that this woman was attempting to put out, by all means, that is your prerogative. Because I'm telling you, man, her intro is a whole mess. And I'll let you experience it for yourself. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty. And she'll take us away.
Yes, so having said that, having said all of these things, where do I stand right now? Where do I stand? So I am right now 9 weeks pregnant. I don't know, I still don't know where I stand with my heart in regards to this pregnancy.
Now that's really weird for a whole number of reasons, of which I will divulge as the video continues to play. But if you caught the previous video, a little bit of a flashback. This is what she says happened.
It's been a long journey for me, you guys. It's been a long journey for me. Anyhow, the whole thing got topped off with the fact that Oliver got really upset. We had that night a conversation about everything. He was so hurt. We ended up having sex. That night wasn't a good night to have sex in many regards. It was good, but now I'm pregnant.
So, considering the fact that she's pregnant again with this guy she's been with for 17 years, where exactly is the confusion in allowing it to be? Where's the confusion? Why is your heart not aligned in this? I mean, you already had a kid with him once. You've been with him for 17 years. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? I think I surmised what's going on, but I'm not going to spoil it, you guys. How else am I going to get the watch time on this video? Keep going.
And I'm going to tell you guys why. And I know, and I'm sorry to all of these women out there, all of the couples out there who want to get pregnant and they can't get pregnant. I feel your pain as well.
You know, personally, I really, really don't like this part of the video because I feel like it's a bunch of lip service that she's trying to say this to quell the minds of all of the women who are never going to be able to have children or who have a tough time conceiving. Because no matter how you slice it, like if you go into a female audience, you're going to encounter ladies of this caliber, of this condition. Caliber is probably not the best word. And I feel like it's very disingenuous because if she did feel their pain, if she did understand what was going on here, she would probably recognize she sounds like a dickhead, like a really ungrateful meanie. I mean, considering the following, like this woman has already had like 2 abortions prior to this point. Like she's been impregnated a total of 3 times, and she's on number 4. And she's all like, "I feel the pain of women who can't get pregnant at all. I know how you guys." Okay.
And I know it must sound really, really hard when I sit here and I tell you guys I'm pregnant and I don't know what to do about it. And you know, I don't have the necessary excitement that people expect me to have.
I mean, honestly, like, where's the mystery? We need to call Batman to help you figure this one out. Maybe Batman might be a little too. Maybe Batman might be a little too much. Maybe the Scooby-Doo gang. We need them to solve this mystery. I got them on speed dial. They come up here with the mystery machine. What do you mean you don't know what to do? I'll tell you exactly what you do. You give birth to your child and you raise it. That's it. Problem solved. I don't know. Why? What is this? What is all this about? What's all this? I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. Give birth to it.
Now, one of the reasons why I'm at crossroads with being pregnant right now, well, it's not just one reason, it's actually multiple reasons, but one reason is the way this life was conceived. It was conceived in a very difficult moment, I would say, in a moment where I didn't feel an alignment of getting pregnant, where I didn't mean to get pregnant.
Well, that would mean, my friend, that you're actually rather negligent. I mean, you know how sex works. You have like an entire YouTube channel dedicated on it. I mean, you tell me you didn't mean to get pregnant and your body wasn't in alignment, and yet you're going on having sex with people. I'm at a bloody loss for words as to what's going on here. You know, just trying to figure out what the bloody hell you were thinking.
And it was just a moment of intense energy. Oliver and I, we had a strong discussion that night. Oliver was really upset that he found out again that I was back being intimate with this other man.
Intense energy. Like this type of people that talk about like these energy benders. I can't stand these energy benders. You know, they're talking about, oh, I feel this energy in the vibe, like they're fucking superheroes or some shit. Like, you're not Scott Summers, dude. You know what I mean? Like, all these people, I feel the vibrations through the air. It tells me that my life is in harmony, and this is the time I should act right, and my body is in alignment with the planets and the moon and all. Like, shut up. I hate that. Like, shut up. Get that nonsense out of here, dude. All right? In your case in particular, I honestly feel like this is a huge smokescreen of misdirection, which I will. Don't worry, guys. I'll get to it. Just watch the whole video. But in particular, this character type of people talking about energy, it just always grinds my gears, because it's just nonsense. It's just an excuse to pretend that your actions aren't actually what they are. You don't take responsibility for your own feelings. It's just vibes and energy, man. It's just affecting me in different ways, man. I can't control it, man. Get out of here. No, nigga. You are in control of your own actions. Stop that nonsense. Just intense energy. I couldn't control myself. I hate that.
As you guys have learned in my previous video, if you don't know the whole story, please watch the first part. And in that night we made love. It was very strong energies, but as I said, my body, mind and spirit wasn't aligned to conceive, yet I conceived.
Well, evidently it was.
And since I'm doing natural contraception, I know my cycle. I was very aware that it wouldn't be the best night to have his essence be placed inside of me. Yet it happened, and
so then that would mean that you are negligent, because you had the knowledge. You know, it's interesting. You know, the Bible says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge," because they have the knowledge and they do not pay heed to it. In some of that regard, I definitely misquoted that. But it's like this, fam. You telling me you knew damn well, and this was not a good night or a good time of which to have sex, and you still did it anyway? More than that, your story, just in terms of just how people function emotionally, it ain't really adding up, Chief. Let me get this one straight, just between you and I. You're telling me Oliver finds out that you were having sex with his friend or some guy. You know, these niggas went to the movies together, fam. Like, it's just friends like these, who needs enemies? Am I right? So Oliver finds this out, and you guys argue. You guys are fighting in some degree. You have some disagreement. It's heated. It's this emotional energy outburst, and somewhere in between the de-escalation, you and Oliver have sex. So he finds out you're cheating. And on that same night, he decides to have sex with you. After an argument. Okay. And that's the one you're sure impregnated you. That's the moment when you were inseminated there. Okay. All right, I'm just saying. It don't sound like someone's gonna be jumping for joy to enough to have sex after you just had an argument about the fact that you're having sex with someone else. But I mean, what do I know? I'm just some nigga on the internet.
yes, and that day, actually afterwards, I know it's gonna sound really hard, but that's just the truth. I took the morning pill after, because I was already very, very aware that I know my cycle and my body so well. I knew that I could get pregnant, and so I took the morning pill after, because I knew that I didn't want to get pregnant that day, now during this time. for multiple reasons. First of all, my relationship with Oliver isn't necessarily in harmony. I always said to Oliver, if we conceive another child, then let's be in harmony. Let's everything, that picture perfect thing you make out in your mind, and you want that it is first like that, and then life says, no, I have other plans for you,
No. Life didn't say no. You said no. You had the picture perfect life you asked for. Listen, this lady has enough disposable income of which she can go on week-long vacation trips with another lover, with another man, as well as go on trips with the man, Oliver, she's currently with, while they already have a son. This woman is able to go on dick trips. That's how much disposable income she has. Not to mention during this whole COVID-19 thing that is occurring. This woman can do that. She's got that much money. All she has to do is just be with Oliver and raise her child. She's got enough. She's got a stable economic environment. And she's fine. She's won. She has a male that wants her and only her. She has that. And then she's going to come on here and be all like, well, life just kind of happened and messed everything up. Destroyed my picture perfect image. No, nigga. All you had to do was just not be a thought and just be happy. That's all you had to do, and you didn't. Don't pretend that you just slip and fell on some other dude's swing. You just off the do. I'm just going through life. I just wanted to have a nuclear family, and then all of a sudden, Wild Hydra appeared. Like, what is this? A fucking JRPG? You're just walking down the street and just random bad shit happens to you? No, you did this. I hate this, man. You're just acting like this just kind of came out of nowhere. No, you were the one who decided that you wanted to have the open relationship and do all of this and then go back to the super dude. Apparently, I don't even know what was so fantastic about him that you felt the need to go back, but you did. That was you. Come on. I hate that, dude. These women act like there's just some random shit just occurred to them, man. This ain't Pokemon. This ain't some random encounter with Entei. Get out of here with that.
So that was number one, the way Oliver and my relationship was during that time. And number two is the entire situation in the world. I'm such a freaking freedom lover. Freedom is everything for me. Yet we are not being necessarily 100% free right now in this world, right? We cannot just freely travel anywhere. If you want to go anywhere in this world right now, you have to make tests, blood tests, swab tests, whatever. Anything can happen, and the lockdown can happen. I think in my mind I had a different idea of how I want to give birth and what kind of world and all of these thoughts, and right now we really are in a fragile moment.
You can miss me with all of that. There were women who conceived during wars in ancient times. You got pregnant during a time where the only thing you have to do to save the planet from a deadly disease is to just not go somewhere. All you have to do is not leave your home. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's it. That's it. There were women in ancient times who are in danger of raiders rushing into their village and slaughtering, and they still gave birth to their children. What are you confused about? What are you talking about, woman? What are you talking about? What? This one. Women, they gave birth to their children during the Great Depression. It's so hard. It's so hard. I have to take a blood test to go on an airplane to go see my lover and spin trips with him. It's so hard. like this woman, man.
So, this leaves me with so much, so many thoughts, and here I am sitting, it's growing. Obviously, I feel the changes in my body. My breasts are swollen, they hurt, and I just feel it so strongly in my body. And it's so hard, guys. You have no idea how hard it is to be so at crossroads, to be in this moment and not be in alignment. It's not like, I can just choose to be in alignment and now I'm happy. It's not like that.
Oh, you can. The human mind is far more powerful than most people like to give it credit for. All the different habits and all the different traits that you have built into you, you can replace them with a lot of effort, a lot of time and investment, and trying. If you are a sad person or a depressed person, you can, I honestly genuinely feel, work towards getting past those feelings, unless there's some type of chemical imbalance going on in your brain. And even then, I would still imagine that you probably could. I mean, in fact, if the human experience is nothing but a bunch of chemical reactions in our brain, then I don't see why physically you would not be able to. But that's going well beyond the scope of this video. Point is, you could be in alignment if you want to. Considering how utterly fantastic your life is, you can just give birth to your child and raise it. There's no challenge here for you. Or perhaps there is a challenge here that we're all just not seeing.
So I know the feeling of what it feels when everything is in harmony and in alignment. Next to that, there's also fears of me losing my freedom.
Now, all the time you hear people who are proponents of abortion say that this is such a hard choice for women. No woman really wants to do it. No woman really wants to have an abortion. It's a hard, tough decision. But then when you look at the thing that's motivating them, you get this. This woman is genuinely saying that I'm scared I'm going to lose my freedom. Your freedom to do what? Well, I know. Get the penis of your Latin lover. I assume he's Latin. I don't know. This is a stereotype we usually use. But that's what that is. That's what this is, man. I'm scared of losing my freedom. What freedom? What? You're economically stable. You can go anywhere in the world you want to right now. What freedom are you losing? Now, of course, physically, eventually her ease of motion is going to be restricted. But it seems to me that she doesn't want to be beholden to raising a child in their infancy years and their younger years, because then she won't be able to go on her dickcapade. That's what that is. That's what that is. She won't be able to get the penis of her lover. Because the thing is, I was incorrect in the last video where I said that she was particularly promiscuous. It seems that it's only one guy that she's opened the relationship for. It's only one guy she keeps going back to. So she's not really promiscuous in the sense of she's generally seeking out multiple different dudes. It seems to only just be one guy, which I think is a little worse, but it's not what this video is about.
And maybe it's also because the life I've built right now, the way I'm feeling inside my body, I feel so at home. I love my sensuality. I love my sexuality. I feel, oh my gosh, it feels so good. And the thought of having another child is like, oh fuck, maybe I'm gonna lose all of that. See, I know. When I first made that clip, I bet a lot of people were getting ready to title search. You don't know that. See. She said it, not me. I know, all you mamas out there, you're probably going to tell me, no, I don't know. But gosh, I know also how it is, right? It's some crazy hormonal changes as well happening. And top this off that with the fact that my relationship with Oliver right now is in a real trial and tribulation phase, which is really exciting and really interesting. And neither Oliver nor I run away from these difficulties. I mean, I told you guys I've been together with Oliver since 17 years. And I think we feel so committed to each other, Oliver and I. Yet
you feel so codependent. That's what that is, my friend. You guys are enabling the worst traits and behaviors of each other. Certainly is not commitment. In fact, considering the subject matter of which we are talking about, you are ipso facto not committed. You are by definition not committed, considering the fact that you cheated and went back to this dude.
We face a lot of interesting challenges in our relationship, and I think
Gotta love euphemisms. God forbid you just, name the demon. Just call the demon by its name. Your thought. If at the very least, if you're not a thought, you're a greedy woman that wants more pleasure and more sexuality, and it's more important for you to get the penis of some other dude for whatever grandstanding reason than it is for you to be committed to your husband and just stay with him and raise your child and your great, wonderful friggin' life.
on a higher level, on a spiritual level, maybe we chose these challenges.
Nigga, you chose!
Because we know that challenges are the only way to make us grow. Both of us did not choose the way of comfort. We both know that in comfort zone, nothing new can flourish and grow.
No, my friend, you're not wrong. Adversity 100% is the key to triggering growth and making us stronger. You're not wrong. I think the only issue that lies here is the fact that you chose a path of trauma and adversity that just didn't need to happen. You just didn't need to do this to trigger growth. Now, here's another thing that's particularly interesting to me. Why exactly is your path of adversity and lack of comfort zone one of you having to open your relationship to another dude? Why is it not that you could just read interesting books? You could learn a new language. How about that? You could learn a martial art. How about that? You could join a club sport team. Why not do that? It's very interesting to me that on all the things that you could have done, you could have written a book. You could have written a book about, I don't friggin' know, a vampire werewolf hybrid trying to date a fairy. That would have been a unique challenge for you. I'm sure you've never even flexed a creative bone in your body. You could have done that, but no. Instead of writing a book about a vampire werewolf hybrid that dates a fairy, you decided that it made more sense to go have sex with somebody else, even though you're already in a committed relationship with a child. That's what you wanted to do. Granted, you're not wrong. Adversity does breed strength if you overcome it. But what you just did a bunch of dumb shit motivated by hedonism. Get out of here. You're trying to make this thing sound more positive than what it is. No, this isn't a great thing that happened to you and Oliver. You decided, you know what, I'm repeating myself. Keep going.
And so that's why we also have this strong commitment towards each other, no matter what is happening in our lives.
Strong codependence, because your relationship is definitionally toxic and somewhat abusive. I'm going to be that guy. I'm sorry. I just don't have much patience for your bullshit.
And no matter how complicated it looks like for you guys outside there, because I know the comments that I'm gonna receive on Oliver and my relationship. Oh, this looks so toxic, and I think Oliver should take a new journey, and I think Adina should take a new journey. I think they're not meant to each other. If it would be really love, then they would be happily ever after. They wouldn't have these challenges. And these trials and tribulations. But I say, fuck that. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all these fucking stupid thoughts. Sorry for saying so much fuck, but guys, I have been in this world of talking about relationship and sexuality since fucking 10 years. 10 years.
Imagine all the people you've led astray in those last 10 years. Holy crap. Honestly, my friend, you're making yourself look worse. You're not making yourself look better.
And I know what's going down. Why? Because I have reached freaking 300 million all over the globe, if not more. I have been featured on Forbes, Netflix, so many magazines, all of the magazines you know. And of course, obviously through that exposure, I've received so many emails, messages from people from all over the world, sharing with me in secrecy, in private DMs, in emails, what is truthfully happening in their lives, in their relationships, in their sex lives. And what I see and what I hear is never what is being portrayed to the outside world, to the masses. You know, you see the beautiful pictures on IG, on YouTube, the beautiful vlogs of families, but always rest assured there's a dynamic behind everything that you see with your eyes that you cannot see. And that can be that you see a beautiful family, yet there's difficulties in sexuality. He cannot get an erection, she cannot get orgasms, she doesn't want sex anymore, he doesn't want sex anymore, he has interests there, she has interests there, he has a disease there, and so on and so forth, you know? And that's so deceiving about social media, and that's why social media puts so much freaking unnecessary pressure on love, relationships, and sexuality.
You know, this is what makes this woman a little eerie. This woman isn't stupid. It's not just the fact that she's right, but it's the fact that she can clearly critically think. She can clearly rationalize and understand the world. And she's right. Lots of people put on a mask and a facade on social media to make themselves appear happy and wonderful and fine, and when they're really not. And she's not wrong. The only issue is that, number one, this has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. And number two, I can see your manipulation as clear as day, my friend. What you're trying to do is you're trying to shift the focus onto how other people are dysfunctional, so that means that by comparison you're really not. Or you're trying to normalize your dysfunction by saying that lots of other people are also dysfunctional. But like I said, I see through the eyes of the Jedi. You're not going to get that one past me.
Everybody tries desperately to live up to the standards of social media. But it is freaking impossible because we are humans. And people don't understand that. We are not machines. We're not living in a Disney movie or in a Hollywood movie where you find the prince or the princess and then you come together, you just find the right person and then, oh my gosh, the rest of your life is going to be forever happy and blissful.
Oh, nigga. You know what, mate? I can't even say it's a freaking lie, dude, because you could have had that. You say it's a lie. You could have had that. You had it. It was in your hand. You had it. It was there. You had it. You had a man who was committed to you. You had it. You have a child. All you had to do was just not. It's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. And the thing that's really irksome, it's not irksome, is you just have this downright absolute refusal to just accept responsibility for yourself and understand that you chose this life. You made this choice. You had everything at your feet, and then you kicked it to the curb and said, no, I want this dude over here. His dick is really long. I don't know what his lore is. I assume it's because he's got a super massive penis. Seems to be all the rage these days.
It's a freaking lie. No. And yes, I know there is a lot of long-term relationships and I know they can be happy, but I know also that a lot of these long-term relationships choose on purpose to live in comfort zones, to not see everything that the partner is doing, to not talk about the uncomfortable things. Because why? Because maybe she wants the safety of having a provider, a financial provider. Maybe he wants the safety of having a woman there who takes care of the children, you know?
Oh, la-di-da-di-da. Now we have to cast doubt in whether or not people who don't have these dysfunctional problems are actually happy. They decide to live in comfort zones, which, I mean, it by itself isn't even a bad thing. Like, if you're just comfortable with the person and you're just fine and you just enjoy your life, a comfort zone could just genuinely be just you and your wife living on a farm, raising 2 children and your dog, and just existing together, and just, you know, you go hunting sometimes, or maybe you're in a suburbia, you know, and you let your kids go down the street and talk to the neighbors and you have cookouts. Excuse me. That's comfort. That's a comfort zone. You guys aren't upset or angry. You're just content. You're just happy and you're fine. Now you're trying to cast doubt onto those types of comfort zones as if there's something wrong with that. And really it isn't. It's relative to what the people are doing and what they want. But your nonsense is you purposely making problems. Probably because you have some type of trauma you haven't dealt with. But whatever the case may be, my friend, stop it. Stop trying to cast this shit out here like your problem isn't like it's not as bad as it is. It is bad.
I totally get it. So there's nothing wrong about that. Nothing. But the thing is, I didn't choose that. I chose and choose growth, personal growth for my life. And that's where I am right now. That's exactly why I am, and that's why I feel like where I stand right now with this pregnancy, the confusion in my mind of what I'm doing, what I'm gonna do is I'm having the clarity more and more that my journey is about personal growth.
Yeah, and what exactly is the personal growth? Which, by the way, I skipped a lot of her nonsense. Again, if you want to watch the full video, you do so of your own discretion, but I skipped a little bit. But I must ask, my friend, you say your journey is one of personal growth, but like, what's the lesson? What's the moral? What's the takeaway? What are you gaining out of all of this? At the end of the day, what is the conclusion to this that you say, I went on my journey, I'm growing, and I'm being a better person? What is it? I mean, I watched the rest of your video. You don't have anything, but it's more for the audience. It's more for the audience to say that this woman it's lip service. It's bullshit.
And in that, I'm very aware that if I want to grow, I have to face my fear. So looking at both options, I'm like, okay, what scares me more? What do I fear more? And yes, what I fear more is the pregnancy, definitely. Because of all the things that it could take away from me. That's what's in my mind right now.
You are remarkably selfish. In lots of different ways. Not only selfish, and I mean, listen, this is all just a whole preamble to her trying to convince herself that it's okay to give her child the good old... Saber, help me out here.
Obviously, I know so many of you think differently. You're gonna gain so much, you're gonna have a new child, and it's gonna give you so much love. But the truth of the matter is that it's also gonna change my hormones, it's gonna change my sexuality, it's gonna change, and maybe it's gonna get more, and I know that. It's just, I'm still scared about what could possibly happen and how much freedom it could possibly take away from me, because that's just who I am. Freedom, you know, guys. Freedom on so many levels.
You know, I'm sure you guys have all been waiting this entire time, so I'm just going to I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what I was teasing about at the beginning of the video. But something about this struck me as a little bit odd, a little bit off, for multiple different reasons, and I'll tell you exactly why. Reason number one, this woman economically is stable. Now, most of the reasons why lots of women get abortions is they feel like they can't take care of the child. Some women, I saw in a couple of statistics, are getting abortions after they've already had several children. So as far as economics are concerned, that certainly would not be the issue. That certainly could not be an excuse that this woman can make, right? So she's not scared about the child for any economic reason, but she constantly says the child could take away her freedom. Now that's a very particular thing. Like, what freedom could it take away? Your ease of motion, perhaps, for a little while. It could. But that's only like 9 months. And to be more accurate, it's probably more like 6 months. After 3 months, it starts showing. But then it's like, is the fear so much in your ease of motion and ability to move, you feel helpless? Because that's not what she said. She keeps saying she's scared it'll take away her freedom. Now that's really weird, but here's the thing. If you look at this woman, she also claims that she was impregnated by Oliver, the guy she's been with for 17 years. Why would you be scared to have another child with someone that you've been with for 17 years, as you guys already have a son that's about 10 years old? My friends, now this is all just conjecture, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's not Oliver's son. That's what that is. This woman is scared because she recognizes that it's probably the other dude's son, or she doesn't know who the father is. She's either sure it's the other guy, or she doesn't know who it is at all. But it's definitely, I can say with certainty, this fear and terror and paranoia is not coming from the fact that she's scared she's going to lose her freedom, or she's going to have these hormonal changes. First of all, this woman's 38. This woman's done, okay? She's done. This woman's in New Game Plus, okay? She's won the game of life. She's in New Game Plus. She went on El Maddening difficulty, okay? That's how I'm positive that all of this is just that she thinks that it's the other guy's child. It has to be. Everything is perfectly wonderful and fine and in alignment. Same guy you've been with 17 years. It's the brother or sister of the child you already have. You do not worry economically, and yet you're scared and terrified of losing your freedom that you have completely. The freedom you're scared of losing is the freedom to be able to do what you want. Not only because you'll be chained to another child, but it's entirely possible that that other child will be a damper on your security net that is Oliver. That's what that is. I am positive, I would put money down, that that child is not Oliver's, and that's where all this terror and fear comes from. Because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that a woman who is perfectly fine financially, is in a committed relationship, already has a child, wonderful, fine, beautiful, amazing, is this scared. Don't make sense. Unless, and then let's consider this one reasonably, just reasonably. She was cheating with another guy. Viewer. Did I even have to add that extra spice in there? We're just gonna fucking sit here and pretend that there's no possibility that as she was having sex with another guy that he might have impregnated her. We're just gonna sit here and ignore that? Nah, lady. Listen. I'm a little bit. I pretend to be obtuse, but I'm a little bit sharper than most tools in the shed, and I'm pretty sure you're just afraid of cucking your husband. That's what that is.
Not to fall into the state of blaming anyone, because I am the creator of everything that happens in my life. I am the creator of Oliver being in Germany right now with this woman. I am the creator. I hold it all in my hands, and I'm responsible 100% for everything that happens in my life, and I'm so aware of that.
Women somehow can have contradictory thoughts in their brain, and I just don't understand how they can be so delusional. It's a state of delusion, of cognitive dissonance. I don't think I'll ever be able to have the understanding and awareness of. How do you wonder and speak that life just occurs and happens to you, but then you say that you're responsible for all your actions and everything that occurs? Woman, what's going on here? I don't get it.
And I want you guys to know that as well. So there is no right, there is no wrong in this here. And this is something that I want people out there to understand. There is no freaking right or wrong in this life. There is no such thing. It's...
You know, I oftentimes say that responsibility is a woman's kryptonite. But what you've seen clear as day here is that this woman doesn't even have a kind of small remote inkling of just remorse or even guilt, even in the thought of her selfishness and the fact that she's talking about the life of her own child, and she's talking about how it's going to take her freedom away. Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Where is your responsibility to provide for a life and guidance for this growth of inside of you? Responsibility. Having a responsibility to someone other than yourself as a woman? Jeez, not even responsibility for yourself and your own actions, despite your contradictory nonsense you say here, but I digress. It's just the thing that makes me say that this woman is probably a bit evil in the last video. It's just there's a total lack of remorse and a total lack of guilt in her actions. In fact, this entire video really is just her trying to explain or come to the conclusion that she somehow actually is still a good person. Yeah, that's what this is. This is just her trying to explain that despite the fact that she did all these awful, terrible things, she covers it all up in a bunch of euphemisms and covers it all up with a bunch of placates. Really what all of this is just a long roundabout way of her saying that I'm actually a good person and I didn't do anything wrong, and this is perfectly okay, despite the fact that I live in a bunch of dysfunction. I cheated on my husband. I hurt this other dude who apparently didn't know that her husband wasn't okay with her doing this. Now she's contemplating giving her own child that fresh Getsuga attention. No, that final Getsuga attention. He ain't coming back from that one. About to give him the Mugetsu. Oh, geez, about to give her own child that father-son Kamehameha wave, dude. Her child's about to go the way of Cell, dude. That's what that is. That's what this whole video is. It's her paying lip service to the fact that she is. Unfortunately, she's gonna get an abortion. She is. If she hasn't already, she is. That's the conclusion. That's what this whole preamble was for. And I would imagine that when it all comes down to it, it is because she's unsure of who the father of her child is. And it sucks that, and here's what I want you guys to take away from this. I'll give you guys something, because there's a lot to take away from this. But this is one of the most important things I want you guys to walk away from with this video. You guys don't ever have to, especially for women, make your lives harder than what it needs to be. And a lot of women have this habit of making their life so much harder than it needs to be because they're slaves to their passions. They're slaves to their emotions. They can't regulate how they feel. They get bored very easily. They need drama. They need dysfunction. As a woman, you don't need any of that. And someone needs to tell you this shit right now. I don't know, your dad didn't tell you. Maybe he wasn't in your life. Maybe you don't have friends who are wise. You don't have people that can think critically. But someone needs to tell you that you don't need to make a mess of your life. That's what this woman did here. Especially not for lust. Especially not for passion. Not for energy. Not for all this nonsense. Because your actions have consequences. They do. They do. I don't know why no one taught you this. I don't know why a lot of women don't recognize this or register this or respect this. But fam, this woman is here talking about her own child in this way that it's going to take her freedom away. How selfish as a person can you be? You have the ability to give life to someone else, to facilitate it, to hold on to it. That's nothing to shake a stick at sideways if you're a woman. And it's ridiculous that some nigga on the internet respects her pregnancy more than she does. It's utterly ridiculous, truly. And it's utterly ridiculous that this man, Oliver, allowed this to transpire, number one, but number two, that this woman wants to do this. She wants to go back and be with some other guy. She's 38 years old. She has her life together. She can go on trips. She has a child. She has someone committed, and she still has to keep on doing all of this because she's not content with herself. It's clear that when you do not have content with yourself, fam, you're going to have to constantly seek this stuff out. That's what all that is. That's what all that emotional stability is going to bring you. It's going to lead you to. And that's what all this is indicative of. A constant thrill seek, a constant need for validation, a constant need to feel something because you don't feel anything because you're dead inside. It's basically a long roundabout way of saying that this woman's lacking a soul. And it's entirely possible she's lacking her soul because of whatever happened to her when she was younger. Something clearly happened to her when she was younger. I don't know what it was specifically, but it's clear to me that it did. Because creating someone who is this morally reprehensible, where she doesn't even have a code of morality. There is no wrong or right. There's no code of morality here. All her actions are fine. It's okay because it's on her path. Creating someone like that is not someone who is born in a stable environment. It's obviously some type of trauma that creates, honestly, a bit of a sociopathic mindset. This woman is a bit of a sociopath in some areas, especially the way she was treating her husband, Oliver. And honestly, ladies, you can't be a woman of this caliber. And men, you have to avoid women of this caliber because it will destroy you. It will. And this woman right here is showing you how she's going to destroy you and how she's going to destroy herself. So hopefully you guys can take that out of the video. With that being said, I just hope you guys got something out of today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.